Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Blood Tribe Elections Live. I'm Vernon J. Chief Moon, and this is my co-host, the lovely Robin Little Bear. Say hi, Robin.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
And again, welcome to tonight's broadcast of Blood Tribe Elections Live. Today's show is all about getting to know some of our candidates running for chief and council, and a chance for them to share their platforms with you all safely due to COVID-19. We have to protect our elders, our immune compromised, and our community, and this is a perfect way to do it for all of you. In fact, it's a lot better, but I'll get to that in a minute, because in a leadership role, we do have to help one another, and that's what we're doing today. So before we begin and introduce our guests, wow, what an amazing first night, last night, episode 1 for Blood Tribe Elections Live. The ratings for last night's show was over 3,000 views, and that was just Facebook Live alone. But I have some good news. We're starting tomorrow. We'll be streaming to YouTube Live. So people within city centers can watch us via their Shaw boxes via YouTube. And the channel would be Blood Tribe Elections 2020. So those, because we had a lot of feedback people wanting to know that we're officer if they can watch it if they don't have Facebook. So by streaming into YouTube, if you have a Roku television, a smart TV, a Shaw box, Telus box, you can watch us live starting tomorrow. Sorry for tonight's delay because of the weather, bad weather in southern Alberta. 2 of our guests couldn't join us tonight, so tonight we're going with 4 guests. And tonight's guests are JoAnne LeMieux. Wave, JoAnne, in the box there. And we have Joshua Edward Curlew-Rider joining us. Say hi, Josh.
Hello.
And we also have Floyd Peter Bighead. Say hi, Floyd.
Hello. Yeah.
And joining us just in a nick of time is Flora Dayrider. Flora, can you hear us? Say hi.
Hi.
Good job. Okay, so before we begin, Robin, would you like to say anything before we introduce tonight's guests?
I just want to say thank you all for joining us and have a wonderful evening listening to our candidates. It's exciting to hear their platforms this evening. Thanks for joining.
Okay, so taking the floor for tonight is going to be JoAnne LeMieux, and she's going to be talking about her platform. So let's put JoAnne in the spotlight. Continue that. There you go. JoAnne, you have the floor.
Okay, Gana. Still on the go. Okoyin ni Maki. Ni just Lucy blood, nin Alfred blood. Hello, my Blackfoot name is Pipe Woman. That was given to me by Mukaki, Pat Weaselhead. And my English name is JoAnne LeMieux. Some still remember me as JoAnne Blood. No, I'm honest, Eric LeMieux. My husband's name is Eric LeMieux. He's from the Blackfoot Reserve. And Nitan Anasta Mariah Blood Henriksen and her husband Aaron Henriksen. And my one granddaughter Alara. And I'm just happy to be here live on this talk show. And Robin and Vernon, I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to bring our platforms to light. A little bit of my background: I was raised on the Blood Reserve in the St. Mary's Dam area. Nice place to grow up. And I attended school in Cardston and Lethbridge College in the phys ed major and law enforcement program. After that, I got into the criminal justice field. I worked in there for 30 years as a parole officer, a criminal court worker, a probation officer, and also a parole officer. It was I like working in there. It was very challenging. challenge the system, because that's a system where there's a high rate overrepresentation of our people in the system. And it was just, it was unbelievable, the numbers in there, and how Canada builds on our people that are in trouble with the law. And so I did a lot of trials and assisted people to explain the system to them, advocated for them, and a lot of times there was unfairness, because our people, their first language is Blackfoot, and so they could articulate themselves a lot better in our language than in English. So a lot of times when they spoke to me and explained their story, I found out that they weren't guilty, because they were able to explain it a little better. So the people that were in the system, it was as a result of a number of issues, and it frustrated me, because I just thought there's got to be more I can do. There's got to be something I can do to help assist with changes within the justice system, hoping to, just be a voice and bring that voice over to a higher level. So I ran for council, and I'm very honored and humbled to serve these 4 years being on council. It's a very learning experience, and also it's a lot of work, a lot of reading, and sometimes you don't get home too late at night. It's a lot of work, and I really enjoyed it, learning a lot of things, and getting our voice out there. Anyways, what I would like to see, on my platform, something that I guess being on council and really seeing it more so now, and I did campaign on it. My last campaign was that this governing system that we have, we need to look at a governing system. I think we need to change it, and we need to work together as a team, chief and council, which I should say this term was a very good team. I enjoyed working with our council. We had a great leader. Our chief was a great leader and had us involved in a lot of things, and I really enjoyed that. So getting back to getting a governing system working in the 21st century is work alongside with chief and council, come up with a team of experts, and utilize some of our people that have studied in that area, come up with a model that will work with our tribe, that will move the tribe forward progressively and positively in a timely manner. I know I heard that there was a bit of a model that's in place, but I think it's something we need to look at again, and let's look at it and see if we can make some changes to it. And again, if we could get a team of experts, or people that do well in this area, have them work on some kind of a model. The system we have now is it just needs to change, and there needs to be a separation of power to creating the judicial arm, business arm, governing arm. And this it won't happen overnight. I understand it would probably take a little while for it to be worked on. And again, it takes a team effort. But this is where getting that governing system in place, it should be unique that it complements the blood tribe too, because we're different. We're a different culture in that. And then the other thing I'd like to say is from there, working on this governing system, is continue working on the various boards which I serve on, the various entities, and see them through, because it just seemed like we just barely got started on some of these the programs, the funding and things like that, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and that stopped a lot of things. So we couldn't, finish some of these programs and that, and some of the boards and that I was on, and which I really want to concentrate on too, as with the Kainai Transition Program and also with the policing. The Kainai Transition Program was formerly Kainai Community Corrections, and that was formerly the Correctional Center, which should have never shut down. And we'd like to see that go into place again on Section 81 with healing lodges, because we still have the over representation of people in jail, and then keep the transition growing, because it's a fairly new program. The community corrections side it's there. We have our probation officers, we have our court workers, we have our Section 81 reintegration workers that work with the Corrections Canada with the inmates coming out and help them getting back into the community and that. But we could build off that and look into the healing lodges and possibly get a proposal put together and look at building off of that, especially with this government that we have right now. And then also getting more funding to expand our programs, expand the court work programs, because this is the Blackfoot territory. And I think we need to really assert that our jurisdiction and use that, because we need to take care of our own people. And a lot of the funding, we need to get that rather than having other northern agencies coming in to take up the funding. And then the other thing is I want to expand on is the police. So far we've got 32 police officers. We've had another 5 additional ones. We've got the dog bylaw in place, and work off of that. We've got the dog bylaw, but probably maybe 6 months down the road, we hope to get a peace officer, and then work off that into working towards some kind of a judicial system. And this is something we need, is a judicial line to deal with some of these matters, can expand into areas like disputes, land disputes, housing, anything like that. And but I would like to just continue working on expanding these areas and continue just working with the communities, Laverne, Moses Lake, and Standoff. We just started that, getting to meet with them, and then again, like I said, COVID hit. But when COVID hit, everyone pulled together, and we've kept the community safe, because out there it's a sickness that we need to pull together. But anyways, I just want to thank you all, and remember November 19th and November 26th, we'll vote JoAnne LeMieux right here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good job, JoAnne. I like the pin.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so
I know,
next
I
up,
like it too.
yeah, I gotta wear one. So next up, we have Joshua Edward Curly Rider, known in the community as Josh Curly Rider, but on your ballot, it would be Joshua Edward Curly Rider. So we'll pull him up next, Josh, and talk to us today about your platform. Again, thank you for joining us on BT Elections Live. Okay, so Josh, we'll put you in the spotlight so you can have the whole screen. Okay, and JoAnne, sadly, we have to remove the spotlight from you. All right, Josh. Okay, Josh, do you see like a button there to unmute? Okay, you're on live.
Okay. Nisto ni danik ko muki yakitopi. Natu kaya ni tsinska sumnok pistowa sa stamiksina. Okay, noktom ko sa ko muki yakitopi. Noktita piamo iso si sapo siya na nokto. Good evening, everyone. I just introduced you and gave you my 2 Indian names. I have one I grew up with as a kid, and the other one I got when I was in council in 2008-2012 from my late uncle, Patrick Eagleplum, who gave me my grandfather's Indian name, which is Curly Rider. So you put it in Blackfoot, it's Mukuyakitupi. Okay, I'm going to read off a few stuffs here. I have introduced myself as I'm Josh Curly Rider. I was raised by my grandparents in the community that lives in Chicago in the Laverne area. I grew up learning the oral history, values, and leadership skills from my elders, which are in the Little Chicago area and Laverne area. My parents are the late Martin Senior Curly Rider and the late Emily Morning Owl, and my mother Judy Curly Rider. My grandparents are the late Jack and Maggie Curly Ryder and the late Wilfred and Amy Morning Owl. I have 5 wonderful children that are very smart, who I love very much. Growing up, I was raised by my parents, grandparents, and my Uncle Andrew, who all have taught me to respect one another and, most importantly, respect our elders. They also showed me the importance of being there for one another, to never turn our back on each other, and is to help each other. And that's what I wanted to share a little bit of my platform this evening. Is that I'm very thankful. First, I wanted to thank Vernon and Robin for allowing me to come on onto the this virtual forum. I don't know why I'm nervous. I should be used to this. I've been going live almost every night during this pandemic, and But anyways, I believe in a strong nation. I believe in the power of our community. I'm a leader with a vision, listening to and working with the people to enhance the things within our departments. Leadership is ability to translate a vision into reality. I'm outspoken, I'm accountable, transparent, and supportive, and I'm a leader. I believe in a strong nation and power of the community. I'm a man of strong family principles which I've embraced in the teachings from my elders. And I'm also very fluent in our Blackfoot language. I could sit there with our elders and I could talk to them in Blackfoot. I could hear what they're saying. I could hear the high Blackfoot words as well. And I could, understand what they're talking to me about. And so that's part of my, a little bit of my platform. And the other is I would uphold the oath and the commitment to the members of KINA, and I will continue to support all communities and all the clans and their needs throughout our reserve. So my platform once talks about is the employment, to continue supporting community employment and job training and creation. When I was on council, those were one of the things that we created. I was part of the blood tribe, the public service pillar. So I was a chairman for social development. And when I was on social development, we created a lot of jobs temporarily, some of them 6 months, some a year. And that, I believe at the time that we were the most department that created jobs throughout the reserve, and just to get people going and getting paid so they'll have money and to put food on their table. And the other is youth, to continue working to enhance existing youth programs with supporting the development of new youth initiatives within our community. I believe that our young people need to be taught our way of life, need to be taught our language, need to be taught things of even in like our young people. There's a lot of young people that have leadership skills that we need to grab them and start training them today, because they're going to be our future leaders. In business is to support all small businesses and to advocate for a new place for daily businesses, meaning that throughout this pandemic, I drove through Standoff and seen a lot of our people selling by the skating rink, and so I stopped by to buy a few stuffs and just to ask questions, and I think one of the things was that our small businesses got really hit hard during this pandemic, and I believe that maybe I'm not sure if our tribal leaders or economic development put out any packages for our small businesses, but that's my goal, is that we help our small businesses that are on reserve. Yes, most of us still go to Walmart. Yes, most of us still go to Lethbridge, but we still have those small businesses on reserve that need our help. They need our help to able to for them to live as well. And so that's on my platform, is to support our small businesses. I'm in a small business with my sister, and so I know how it feels when you get hit hard with such as the pandemic that has happened. Okay, the other one is elders. Elders is to continue to support our elders in all the communities and utilizing them throughout traditional time-honored methods, meaning we continue using our elders and bringing our youth, putting the youth and the elders together today, is that the elders will teach the youth, on what needs to be done and how they need to live throughout this world that we live in today. And the other one is financial, is to have a fair and capable of a comparable wage for workers and work placements throughout our reserve. And one of the things that I thought I put on here is that a review of our current of the Chief and Council salary and travel budget, is to go over it and see where we can tweak and where we can do a lot of this to guess, in other words, is to kind of level it out, to make sure that when I was on council, the kind of children's services, we have to put a cap on our travel budget for our board members, and that included Marcel, Andrew, the late Dolores Day Chief, and myself. We as a committee decided, let's put a cap on our travel budget. So if we go over, then we're gonna have to wait, and so we set out an amount for the whole year, because that's including, we also have the chief and council budget for our departments. So so that's one of the things that I thought I want to continue to review and do that. And again, leadership is the ability to translate vision into reality. And I want to help our people out. I want to be there for our people, and I want to able to help them continuously every day in their lives. And so on November the 26th, I believe that's what it says. I ask for your support. Vote Joshua Curly Rider. And if you want to know any more information about me, my email and my phone number, you can contact me through Facebook. And so with that, I want to say good luck to all the candidates that are running, and prayers for our current leadership, and prayers to the others that are going to be sitting in those seats after November 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Very good.
Good job, Josh. Robin, did you want to introduce the next guest?
Okay, our next up is Floyd. Big head. Welcome, Floyd. Floyd, you need to take mute off.
I just sent you a notification, Floyd.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Ready?
Yep, you're on the air.
Okay. Okay. Utapi sinai kana matsin kwa. Ano ka tako hikaki. Okay. Ito na ko ka pita kachis. Okay, no hachino pi nixi ninex. Ano ka kano hakats to ta batak sinoxo. Okay, ko sa pi boy. Ika ka ta pi mara te chi pois mate to chinia so laksa pi boy. Max the manyo pi kaso ki chi boy. And sometimes I'm better explaining myself in Blackfoot, so I might be going back and forth. So if you have interpreters at home, ask them what I said. Anyway, first of all, I'd just like to thank all our tribal members, for all the support that they have given me, the guidance from a lot of people. It was truly a learning experience. When we first got elected, I felt that I was thrown to the wolves. Okay, I was learning at the same time, and I took this council work very serious for 4 years. I probably made 95% of the meetings, and I felt, that every meeting was important. I think the highlights that I would like to make is a chance to meet with the high government officials, the Prime Minister, the ISK ministers, and here in Alberta, the Premier, and then the various ministers that we deal with. And I believe these were a high priority as a leadership role, is to be able to communicate with these government agencies, as they are our funders. And to me, I find that as we go there with our administrators, that they really need us when we are in these meetings, because the government officials tend to listen to the leadership. And I felt that was a very important part. I have been very vocal at these meetings. I'd say, for example, when I first got on, the SS program has that back to work program. It's called Reinvestment Initiative. And it was a pilot program, and they were going to cut off the funding for that program. It was for 18 to 24-year-old social services clients. And one of the things that we're looking at social services is to get people that are able to work to get them off social assistance and into the workforce. And we had several programs deal with that. And we were able to continue that funding for that program, along with increasing the age from 18, it was 18 to 24, but we got it to 18 to 64 years old. So that was one thing that I was sure glad of. Also with Double S is the help that we get for our special needs people, especially like the funding part. A lot of you have to go off reserve to get assisted in the head, as I don't know, special needs people, our special needs children. So we got that program on going now, and I'm hoping that as we progress with it, we can expand and start helping our own people here and to be able to stay on the reserve. And that right now we're focusing on children, but I'm hoping to open it to all reserve members, and in the upcoming negotiations for that. For the housing, we did a lot of work on housing. When I first started, we were probably meeting 2-3 days a week just on housing. It was weekly and then monthly, and slowly we got the progress going. We are in a big deficit in housing, and it's because of over the years. One of the big factors is because our rent is so low, and it doesn't balance with our loans, and we have those loan guarantees. Another thing is that we are quite populated. With the allotment of houses, Alberta gets 50 new houses a year, and out of that's divided between 40 some odd First Nations communities. But us, we're lucky that we get these called slippages, so we're able to add on houses. And in 4 years, we built 80 houses. And one thing I really pushed for was that we have the capacity to build our own houses, and we've been able to keep the kind of industries going, and employing quite a number of our people. And it's actually our people building the houses, so it's working out well. There's still a lot of stuff to do in that, making it into a business. And we here our economy on the reserve. I think we've put in place here a system where we can start focusing and bringing the economy to the reserve, meaning that there's still a lot of work available. There's still a lot of red tape.
Hello everybody. Sorry about technical details. We had an error in Zoom, so Zoom kind of kicked us out of Facebook Live. I guess you have that with technology every now and then. We apologize. So we're sorry we deserted you on the stream there, but we're back up. Hopefully everybody finds this link. So if you're watching this and you had people watching at home, invite them over to the stream here. So we'll continue off with Floyd, who's going to be continuing off his platform. So Floyd, go ahead. You have the floor. So sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And just to continue on, I think the best thing that we have to do is to get,
so Floyd, go ahead. You have the floor.
Keep the council, the leadership to keep working well together, and I think we can achieve. We have a lot of stuff that we can continue on. So the main thing is to have action instead of just talking and talking and talking. I think action is the main thing. There's a couple of things that I just wanted to mention. Was we're in the works of getting a new skating rink, and we're hoping that it'll be a double rink. Also more recreational facilities, and also the addiction problems on the reserve, the opioids. They've really affected a lot of us, and I think more effort. It is a new addiction that we are dealing with. So these are some of the things that are on the table for the new council to look forward to. I'd just like to thank all the support that we've had. I'd like to thank Maxine, my wife Maxine. She's a great support. My family, my children, and my relatives. they keep me going. Some days, I get kind of down because of, just things happening, and they're my support, and they get me back up. Um, these are just some of the things, and I feel, I have some unfinished work in this upcoming term. It's been a learning process. The first year was a real experience, and now that I've been able to settle in there, and to be able to voice. I am vocal, and so these are just some of the things. I do speak up for our people. I am here for the people. You're welcome to anytime anybody calls me. I'm here, and I do look into everything that people ask me to do. And with that, just come November, vote. Make sure everybody votes. And there's my pin. So vote Floyd, November 16th and November 19th and the 26th. And good luck, and thank you all. I'd like to thank all the nominees for showing an interest, and that really shows that we want the Kainai tribe to be the best, and to be going forward, especially for our grandchildren. And the matchotchi for you. Yes, again.
Good job, Floyd. Thank you very much. Again, so sorry about Zoom kicking this out in the middle of your conversation. Maybe what we can do is in the future, one of our episodes, bring you back so you get the full floor uninterrupted. But like I said, people, we will be on YouTube. So the edited version will be the full stream and he won't be cut off. It's just on the live version he was cut off. All right. So again, like if you missed our start of our program, we're going to be streaming through YouTube starting tomorrow, so you can watch these programs via your Roku device, your Shaw device, your smart TV device, or on your computer via YouTube. And the channel is Blood Tribe Elections 2020. So this program, even though it was cut off live, in the YouTube video playlist, it would be not cut off. So just so you know there, Floyd. Okay, Robin, did you want to introduce our next guest?
Yes, everybody, welcome Flora. Flora Dayrider is our next speaker. And you can unmute your microphone, Flora.
I'll send you an invitation.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, let's get set up. Hi, everybody. Okay, my name is Flora Terra Geneva Dayrider. I'm from Old Agency out on the Blood Reserve. My parents are the late Henry Jr. and Louise Dayrider. I was just contacted about this forum like just minutes before, so I'll do my best to try and speak about, I guess, why I am running for council. Are we ready to go, or do I keep talking?
You can jump right into it.
Yes, Flora.
Okay, just double checking. So I really have to thank and appreciate my nominator and seconder. That's Debbie Rose Daychief and Heather Whiteman. One of the main reasons why I wanted to run it is because I really feel passionate about our people, and I really would like to be in a position where I could assist our people and help us move forward. And I believe that with my education, like I have my Master's of Business Administration from the University of Athabasca, and I just recently graduated in 2015. So I would really like to utilize my education for the betterment of our tribe. I think that's what a lot of us who obtain that higher level of post-secondary, that's what a lot of us, what our goals are. Like we want to come back to the reserve, we want to work on the reserve, and we want to help our people in any way that we can. Currently, I'm working at Recro Community College, and it's kind of surprising to me. Like I work in more of the administrative side, so I occasionally teach. Like once in a while, I'll be like a sessional because I have my master's. I can I can do that. But one of the things that I was really surprised working at Red Crow was graduation. Like I really love seeing all of the students when they walk age, like they're just that feeling of accomplishment, and I know exactly like how they feel. Like it's really hard to go to school, especially as an adult, and you have all these obstacles you have to jump through, and at the end, like graduation is kind of like the really big event at Red Crow. And so like seeing all these students in their success is like, I want to see the reserve succeed. I want to see every single one of us be successful on the reserve. And I think that being part of Chief and Council would allow me to help create like a more transparent government, because that's one thing that you always hear every election is people want that communication between the people and the Chief and Council, because there is that kind of communication gap. And like for example, the mining letter that was on Facebook, like we didn't hear about it, and so it kind of became this bigger issue. Like, why aren't they consulting the people? How come we don't hear about these things till way later? And for me, like I hear them, and I'd like to build those pathways with the community, and also gather input from the public, because like our people have a lot of really great ideas and opinions, and I think that they should be heard, and we should be more in I guess share with the community all of what's going on in the reserve. And I think that would really build our people up. It will really make us feel like we're all included in the process. Some other issues that I would like to I guess focus in on would be like education, where Red Crow is going to be building the new building, and it's going to have the capacity for 900 students. And I really like there would be no reason why we can't be one of the most educated nations in Canada. And so, but with that also comes the need for increased funding. We need to increase our funding capacity in order to fund all these new learners who wish to attend the college. And I also think that we also need to make some room for trades, because there is a high demand for trades. I think that we're going to have a number of our capital projects coming up, and it will be really great to get some of our people working in those capital projects. And so we really need to start training our workforce. And two, like with the number of with the increased number of graduates on the reserve, we will have to create some kind of employment, right? Because we can have all of these graduates, but if they don't have employment at the end, it's kind of, it doesn't, like, for me, work. Like, because I have my master's, I really want to push that economic development. We need to get some type of industry. Every election, we hear the same thing, like we got to support small business, we got to support developing or investing in some type of industry, and I would really like to see that actually happen. And let's see, what else can I talk about? Also too, like with my background, like I looked after my parents for about 15 years. My mom had a stroke, and my dad was he had like a spinal cord injury, so he was very limited in his mobility. And so I saw the complexities of our elderly and our handicap, and the real need for services for them, because in a lot of ways they kind of get pushed to the side, and nobody takes the time to really listen to their concerns or to hear them. And for me, like, I really want to be an advocate for them, and not just for them, but an advocate for all of the tribe. And because I really want to see all of us succeed and see the reserve become better. And yeah, I don't know what I was kind of I was rushed into this, but also too, like I have my own copy of the Indian Act, so like I've read the Indian Act, I understand it, and I know that's, I guess, one thing that people would like to have us be well versed in, and also too, like while I'm talking about education, I would like to increase our like our language revitalization. So I really would like to see Chief and Council really push for that, because there's a lot of people doing all sorts of great and wonderful things with our language revitalization, and I think that would be one of the things that will really help our communities. And again, that's all. Vote for Flora on November 19th and 26th. Thank you.
Good
Awesome,
job,
Flora.
Flora. You sounded great.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have all our candidates done speaking about their platforms, we originally had 2 more joining us, but due to the weather, they couldn't quite make it home to join us, so we didn't want to rush them because we do want them to get home safe. So, but it's okay. It's okay to have a shorter program. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to ask a few of these nominees running a few questions, and Robin has a few questions she'd like to ask them. Go ahead, Robin.
Hey, so we're going to start with JoAnne, our first speaker tonight. JoAnne, you talked about a governing system. You talked about working as a team with council, establishing a new model around governance and the separation of powers, and a unique system that complements the blood tribe. And you talked about the transition to society, policing, corrections, and the peace officer. So, and you mentioned the dog bylaw. So my question, JoAnne, is if you are successfully re-elected to council, how do you see council moving forward with the dog bylaw and a peace officer? How do you see that all working in the next term?
Well, first of all, we've done the reading for the dog bylaw, and we've heard the complaints from the community of all the dogs attacking, the dangerous dogs and that. And we've got that in place, and, you know, and then with the council moving it on to the next level of a peace officer. Now we need to get a couple of peace officers in place, but the thing of it is we need to get funding for the peace officers and finding out where can we get this monies from to get these peace officers in place. And once the peace officers are in place, once we get that funding, getting the job description, all that for them, then can they begin to work on enforcing these bylaws, you know, not only with dogs, but also we could start working on litter bylaws. Right now they're doing the curfews, but we could have the peace officer doing that, because the police officers are really busy with the criminal code matters. So we need the peace officers, like what they do in the municipalities. They have peace officers, and then these peace officers, we could expand them into working in to checking out the perimeters of the reserve, bringing in, you know, having them charged for litter, to curfew, to trespassing, to anything like that. But I think this is where council will find monies from maybe some of our own sources, or checking with Public Safety Canada, see if they have anything, or looking at these other areas where there's monies available. But I think it's so important to keep our communities safe in the communities, so they're able to go out and enjoy and take walks out in the community. And then from there, can we start building on playgrounds and things like that, so the kids aren't afraid of dogs attacking them. And then this in turn, once we can get our own enforceable bylaws, then can we start working with the Public Safety Canada, public prosecutors of Canada, to see if they can start enforcing these bylaws. And already we've started talking with them with the curfews, and we did talk to them about, can we work off this, and they've agreed to. And so we just got to continue talking to them, communicating with them, and just build off of that. And that could turn into possibly, you know, having some kind of just a small tribal court system or something. A start somewhere, and we could build off from there.
Thank you, JoAnne. Thank you. That was very good. Okay, let's go to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Josh. Josh, take your mute off. There you go. Okay, Josh, you talked about, and this, I really like this. You said you believe in the power of our community. That was a very nice statement. You talked about working to enhance our existing programs and translating your vision into reality, understanding Blackfoot, and supporting employment, youth, and new youth initiatives, business, small business, advocating for them. You talked about supporting elders to teach our youth, financial comparability, and translating, well, your vision into reality. What really struck me, Josh, I really like the statement of you believe in the power of our community. So Josh, my question to you is, if you are a successful candidate in this next election, how do you see Chief and Council empowering our community members?
All right. The reason why I said that, and because I believe it, I believe that Chief and Council, the new elected ones, the Chief and 12 Council, we need the people's support, because the people are the ones that vote us in. The people are the ones that put their trust in us. It's something that we work for, is to have that trust from our own people. And that's why during these elections, we have all these forums and we have all this stuff going on to get the people to trust us. And once they do that and we get elected, is that Chief and Council go back to the members and hear out their ideals and hear out their thoughts on how Chief and Council should be run and how things should happen, and with meetings and or each candidate that get in, to have their people, their supporters, to write up proposals, to write up ideals and things that need to be implemented, and as well as when Chief Council needs to make major decisions, like this recent monies that we just got, these settlements, this past term. I think there was some consultation with the people, but not as much. But I think that people need to, where we go back and make them understand, especially our elders, our youth, the ones in this generation, they understand, but it's our elders that don't quite understand. That's why it's very, very, very important that you're very fluent in Blackfoot, so we could speak to them and tell them, this is how it's going to be done. This is what it's going to be done. This is what's on the table, and this is what we need. Your feedback is we need you, because you're the ones that voted us in. So we need your help on how to carry on this statement as the power of the community, because they're the ones that elect us, and they're going to be with us for the next 4 years.
Thank you, Josh. Good timing, too. Okay, everybody, that was very good, Josh. Our next speaker is Floyd. Floyd, you can unmute your microphone. Floyd,
Okay.
you talked about, you said it was very important for council to attend all meetings, definitely, and it's a lot of work. And you talked about the importance of supporting staff in government meetings. That's a very good statement. You talked about programs to serve special needs children and hoping to expand to adults, keeping people on the reserve for special needs, housing. We're building our own houses and we're working to reduce the debt. You've talked about 80 houses in the last 4 years, building our economy. There's lots of red tape in the economic development sector, and building a relationship with our people. Excellent, excellent comments. Floyd, my question to you is, if you are successfully reelected to council, how do you see council expanding on those special needs programs to not just include children, but to include adults?
Oh, very good question. You know, this is one of the big things about our tribe, well, especially all First Nations. The amount of help the special needs people get off the reserve exceeds way more than what we have for our special needs people, and we have a number of them that are in this category. Working on a system with the government of Alberta and the social development program, we are trying to gain extra monies to help our own. One of the things that really got to me was one of our members was a special needs person, needed 24-hour care, and the family had to let her go through adoption into the city, and then she got these services. She got a nurse, 24-hour care. But because she was on the reserve, they did not want to help her, so they had to give her up for adoption. It really bothered me, and then when we started this initiative, it did. You know, it's going to be a lot of work for one reason. With the help of Jordan's principal, I believe that's what it's called, we were able to get this program going. They've classified it as a pilot, but I'm hoping that we can get it off being a pilot and then have a continuous support. A lot of money will be involved, but I think, you know, if with the amount of the people, our workers, collaborating with our leadership, you know, we can put something together, and we are on that road. And right now we're focusing on the children, but once we get on the right road, we can expand that to include all our members with special needs. And this is one service that has been talked about. I've heard, you know, over the years past of these programs not being up to par with the provincial levels, and that's where we want this program to be at. Excellent question, you know, and that is right now it's in the initial stages, so we're hoping as we go along that we can improve on this. So thank you.
Copy. Thank you, Floyd. Okay, our next question goes to Miss Flora. Miss Flora, you could take your microphone off mute. Flora, you talked about wanting to see everyone succeed. Wow, that was an awesome statement. You talked about communication between chief and council with the people and building those avenues, gathering input, building our people up. And then you talked about wanting to work on education, increasing the funding and expanding into the trades, training our workforce for all those capital projects that we know are coming up. And there's $127 million worth of capital projects coming up. So that is excellent. Employment. The one thing that I liked that you said was needing some type of industry. And then you talked about the complexity of elders and disabled and advocating for them, language revitalization. Flora, if you are successfully elected to Chief and Council in this next term, how do you see Chief and Council revitalizing our language? What is your vision to bring language up in our community, our Blackfoot language?
Okay. Well, I'll speak from my own experience. Like growing up, my parents were both products of St. Mary's Residential School, and so my dad told me at a very young age, never mind learning Black. It's a dead language. Learn English. Learn French. So that's what. And I learned a little bit of French, not very much. And it wasn't until later in life when just before, like a couple years before my dad passed away, he finally told me, no, Flora, I was wrong. I should have told you to learn your language. And so ever since that time, I've been really trying to pick up the language as much as I can. There's a lot of different initiatives started by various people within the community. For example, I know like Recro, we received funding to develop a language program, and I think that I really like seeing the immersion like in the younger children, the K to 12. Having in school would be really great, but it's like that transition from when they go to school and then when they come home. Like if my son were to go to the immersion school, which I'd love for him to go, but when he comes home, like my husband and I, we don't speak Blackfoot fluently, to have it really be like make an impact on him. Like he'll probably be like very broken Blackfoot. So I really like to see initiatives for the adults like myself to learn Blackfoot, and so really have the tribe really back a lot of these initiatives that have started, and really see like for example like our like BTA, like let's say we make Blackfoot mandatory, so all of the employees have to learn Blackfoot, so we give them time during the workday to go take these courses and take these classes and learn Blackfoot and become proficient in the language. With my experience at Recro, like when I got to sit in on a lot of their planning for their language initiatives, and I really got to see like my worldview just kind of like really broadened and really opened up, because there's so many different there's so many different ways that the language is just really vital, and I see it being one of the things that would just help so many people. And if we could get that going and can get that, have the backing from Chief and Council, provide some funding for it, I think it would be really great for our people. Thank you.
Happy. Thank you, Flora. Awesome. Okay, now that wraps up our questions for our candidates tonight. Thank you all. Good answers. Oh, there's Floyd's pin. Everybody take a look. JoAnne, Flora. Right
Yeah,
on.
show off your
stuff.
there.
Yep. Okay, everybody, that's JoAnne, Josh, Floyd, and Flora. Thank you, guys.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and keep up the good work, you guys. Keep everybody informed. I like this virtual forums like that, and hopefully we can get a lot more candidates on here. You know, it's really interesting. It's a fun time of the year, I guess, and let's keep everything positive. I know that we have a lot of work to do for our tribe. Remember that there's 14,000 members. We are not a small tribe. So, let's keep going in the right direction, and hope everybody has good campaigns, and then hopefully we'll get another good leadership in there. So thank you.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay safe. COVID and the snow. Stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, so I'd like to thank our candidates again. JoAnne LeMieux, thank you. Joshua Edward Curly Rider, Floyd Peter Bighead, and Flora Day Rider. I almost said Day Chief. Sorry about that, Flora.
Yeah.
Flora Day Rider. Again, this is Blood Tribe Elections Live, our second episode. We apologize for Zoom crashing halfway through our broadcast, but in the part one, I'll put a link to part two, so once we go off the air, you can rewatch them. And then starting tomorrow, if you missed our good news at the start of the program, we'll be streaming to YouTube starting tomorrow. The episode 1, which was yesterday, we had over 3,000 views. So now we have people through the YouTube that want to watch us. So starting tomorrow, we'll be streaming to YouTube as well. So people with Shaw, streaming services like Roku, the what do you call it, the televisions that have smart TVs, the application YouTube, your phone, you can watch us live so we can reach out to more people, especially in city centers that have YouTube on their cable devices. So that pretty much concludes tonight's show, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching us. I'd like to thank Robin for being my co-host. I thought it'd be an excellent balance to have someone that's not in council and a host that is in council, just to even out the spectrum of the show, all right? So before we go, Robin, would you like to say anything before we go off the air?
I would just like to invite our fellow nominees, our fellow election candidates. If you'd like to be on the show, please inbox Vernon or myself. We'd love to have you on our show. And thank you again, everybody, for joining us this evening. Have a good night.
So before we go off, tomorrow we have a few guests, not confirmed, but just giving you an idea of the candidates happening. We have Shannon Wells going to be joining us, as well as Aaron Fox. I think it goes by Aaron William Fox, I believe, and some other ones as well as Traveler, aka Travis, will be joining us as well. And I think that's it. But we're working, before we go, I just want to note, we're working on a Chiefs Forum. That's going to be on Saturday, pending we get everyone to commit. So look out for that on Saturday, a Chiefs Forum. We're aiming, Robin, about 2?
Yes, about 2 p.m. if we can get all the chief nominees confirmed.
Okay, and you can again watch us in Facebook via BT Elections Live or YouTube Blood Tribe Elections 2020 Live. Okay, that concludes our segment, everybody, and thank you for the love. Over 3,000 views for yesterday's episode. That's amazing. Awesome. So to everyone, stay safe, and you guys have a good evening. See you tomorrow.
Good night. We off there?